Good evening, Xenu Nation. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Hey, I'm your host, Denver Steveo. It's great to have you all here tonight. I know, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the grand Claire, Mark, and Amy and Matt are still going. So hopefully some people swing by when they are done. So, but thank you for everybody who came and joined us at the very, very beginning here. It looks like Clearwater Chad is in the house. Oh, hello, Karine. Hi. Yeah, Goldie is here. T-7. No, Goldie. T- now. T- now. Here I is. And I'm not muted this time. I'm talking and you can hear me. That just happens too often. So I'm in heaven. Watching them too. Yeah. I've got them muted over here so I can actually, I've got me muted right now. So let me go back to them. Let's just watch them for a while. Okay, everybody. No. Don't do it. Don't do it. I lied. Oh, there's Laura FM's got a super chat. Creepy B5. Heidi to you. Good to see you. Good to see you all. So, let's give a big shout out to our friends over at the You Know Where, 13th floor of the Hollywood Guarantee building, where they smell like poo thanks to Marty Rathbun back in about 2003 when he just left a big dookie and clogged the toilet. It's still not fixed. So I know it's gross, but it's the truth. So anyway, on the count of 3, 3, 2, 1. Hi, Osa. Hi, Osa. Hello, Osa. Yo, Osa. Woo, 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 Osa. We go. Yeah. Speaking of Osa, I think we're actually going to leave Osa a little bit alone tonight. They know they stink. They know that if they leave and pick up the phone and call the Aftermath Foundation or get on the interwebs and send an email, send a message to the Aftermath Foundation, there are people there that are willing to help them and willing to help them get free. So that's all I have to say about that. Don't be dumb, Osa. Yeah, don't be dumb. Many of your former colleagues are already with us, already on this side. We may be degraded beings, but at the end of the day, everybody's a degraded being. All that BS about the whatever the sapien is that Elrond promised doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. And it wasn't even a psychiatrist that told us that it doesn't exist. It was a scientist, not a Scientologist, but a scientist. True story. So, yeah. I guess that's all I have to say about that. I named the title of today's episode Viva la Vida. And that may mean certain things to certain people. It may mean different things to different people. I named this episode that one, because I think it conveys a message, and that's the message that I'm going to talk about today, tonight, here, soon. But I also named it that one because I'm a Coldplay fan. It's a really good song, but it's a really good song that actually has a bit of a message. There's a revolutionary message in there, which I think is fantastic. That revolutionary message actually comes, and don't think I'm unaware of kind of where the term Viva la Vida was popularized by Frida Kahlo in an amazing painting. And that's honestly, that's where Chris Martin got the idea as well. So, and it's an idea of revolution. It's an idea of, pain. If you don't know the translation, it's I believe if I'm going to get the three words wrong or in the wrong order, but I believe it's long live life. And it's not long live life, my friend. No, this is long live life, right? This is we shall overcome, we shall fight, and you will long live life. It fits in the world that we are all kind of part of here with, whether you're a former Scientologist, whether you're a never in, we're all fighting the same fight. And we're fighting that fight not just for who's on this side today, but to get those others to this side. That the abuses, the pain, the horrors that they're experiencing, that they don't need to experience them anymore. It also has another interesting message to it, and I think if you think of the lyrics, I put the lyrics, or at least the beginning lyrics of the song in or I guess it's wherever it is, the description. I used to rule the world. Seas would part when I gave the word, right? I used to be all that. We were the shit. And I think that's a feeling that, as never ends, we need to understand. Because a lot of the ex-Scientologists, they came from that world, right? I can name any number of people that worked at the int base, and they were the shit. Mark and Mitch were, working with actors, not just Scientology actors, but outside actors, working with actors, future celebrities. Nora and Liz were working at CC with those goddamn celebrities. Right? And then, I mean, you talk about when you talk about Matt or Mike, Aaron, these guys that maybe spent time at Flag, maybe spent time in LA, and they were there with Scientology bigwigs. They had titles. Mike was one of the top leaders in Scientology. So was Claire. And to have to leave that, right? To have to leave a place where they used to rule the world. And now every morning, to the next lyrics, every morning I sleep alone, sweep the streets that I used to own. Right? I used to be the shit. And now I'm starting over from scratch. Imagine the difficulties that any of these Scientologists, especially those that spent their time, at executive levels or in some sort of position within the Sea Org, even staff, right? Alex was head of public book sales, right? And to leave, or to be left, and to not have that anymore. And it's not just about the title. It's about when you have. I've been in corporate America for quite some time. And I'll tell you, when you have a title, it's not about having the title, because, oh my God, you don't want to have that title because people are going to ask you questions. But at the same time, having the title means somebody has trusted you with responsibility, and somebody has given their trust in you. And to lose that, to leave that, or to, have it taken from you, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. I've done this last week. I've been kind of, and forgive the melancholy and the emo approach that I'm taking tonight. I'm sorry. I'm a little more this, and if you guys take the ride with me tonight here, you'll see why. You'll see why. But it's really hit me. It's really hit me this week watching Mike and Claire talk to Mike Brown about his mother. The week has kind of hit me rough. Not just from an SPTV perspective, but just from a perspective in general. And again, take the ride with me, and we'll get there. And I promise. I don't know how long tonight's going to take. I don't foresee it going beyond 2 hours. It may take a lot less than that. I'm not sure how many of the chats, the stars, that we'll get to. Please do, if you do have something that you really want, that you'd like to say, put the word question in capital letters if you've got a question to ask. Put the word comment in capital letters if you've got a comment that you want to say. If you want to send a super chat because you want to be guaranteed that something will be said, okay. But I would say don't sweat the super chats. There's, for YouTube to take 30% of it just for you to be heard. If it's important, it's important, but nothing you have to worry about. Hey there, Kat. Great to have you here. You've got us on you've got me on the low rung tonight, but feel free, hang out. Please hang out, take the ride with me. Let me just say this too to everybody. If you look down in the comments, I have mentioned before that any monetization that comes from this channel right now is going to be donated to Mike. Until we have all's clear, Mike's all clear, Mike's in remission, all of the money. So super chats, super stickers, super thanks, and any advertising monetization is going to go right to Mike. But that being said, again, with 30% of the super chats going right to YouTube, let's stay away from that. One of the things that I've decided to do is, if you look down in the description, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee down there. Buy Me a Coffee takes a lot less than YouTube does. So anything you donate through Buy Me a Coffee is going to go to Mike as well. And again, until we have Mike's in remission, the world is good. That being said, I also have my Venmo and my PayPal. If you really want to donate to the channel, i.e., help me stop drinking Sonic and whatever, get some new stuff for the studio. I think we've talked about some of the things that I'm looking at doing here. So you can donate that way. You can also feel free to I've got my Amazon wish list there, but so feel free again. Had somebody reach out to me and this week and said, hey, I really, I want you to, I know you want this, something from my wish list. But I don't have, I can't pay for the whole thing. So here's a gift card. Now, I thought that was really sweet. So, but this isn't about the money. This is about us. This is about this community. So there, got that part out of the way. Now, where was I? Where was I? So yeah, so I've done some soul searching here this week, and actually, it's one of these things that's been kind of popping up bubbling up. That's the word I'm looking for in my head for a few weeks now. But part of me has kind of chickened out. If you wonder why kind of these last few weeks have sounded like I've been I don't know, for the most part, talking off the cuff. That's because I've been talking off the cuff, because I've had this conversation, and I just haven't been comfortable having it until now. So, so here we are. Hey, Mark. But yeah, so this difficulty, right, of leaving something, and leaving something that you feel like you're one of the big fish, right? You feel like you're somebody important. And then to be asked to leave, or to start feeling like you have to leave the organization, or in a worse scenario, being told you have to leave the scenario. You have to leave this organization. That's really scary. And sometimes people are going to accept maybe I can just audit it away. Maybe I can just pay my way out of this feeling. Maybe I can be, take the abuse longer, because maybe it's going to get better. Maybe this is, I forget who it was. I think maybe it was Mike Brown's mom who said, yeah, I always thought this was just a bad spell and that things were going to get better. How many of us have stuck around something because that's the feeling we've had? Right? Oh, it's going to get better. It's not going to stay this bad. Hey, Renee. And then they stay for 20, 30 years, longer than they needed to, because they've been promised great things at the end. And if I focus, if I work harder, if I commit myself, and if I commit my body, it's going to get better. And it doesn't. But the alternative is to leave and to move into the world of SPs, the degraded beings, these, the psychiatrists. And they don't, what do you do? What do you do in that point, in that scenario? And many of them don't know that they have options. And many of them don't know that they can leave. And many of them know that they can leave, but know that they then have to give up so much. They have to give up family. They have to give up this sense of belonging, this sense of being something important and being part of something important. That's why I named the episode today Viva la Vida. It's just the song just really reflected that. Now the song itself is about a about a scared monarch who's watching everything collapse through revolution, right? So he, the narrator, is just watching it all evaporate. And there's a line in the song, and this really strikes me. I think when I first heard this song really hit me hard. I know I don't have to say it slowly. I know St. Peter won't call my name. Right? I have been an asshole. I have been a shit king, emperor, monarch, whatever. And now I'm losing it all. And I know that when I die, I won't be invited into heaven. St. Peter will not let me through those damn pearly gates. Be a Christian or not, that imagery is startling, right? So I don't want to pick on anyone in particular, and it's not picking on anybody, but how many times have we listened to the wonderful, the sweet Gary Jackson Moorhead, and have felt that pain in his voice when he truly means that he feels he needs to make up for what he did when he was there, when he was at the int base, when he was the security chief. One can read that as he's afraid that he's not going to, and I won't say go to heaven, because, believe what you want to believe, but that he's not going to be invited to the future, whatever that means. And Jackson's not the only one that sounds that way. You hear, how much of this pain do we hear in the pain and frustration in Serge Delmar's voice, the pain and frustration in Laura FM's voice, the pain and the frustration in Claire's voice, Mike's voice, right? So this is so what I want excuse me. What I hope we take from this is that understanding that we, and by we, I mean every one of us, whether we are a never-in, whether we are an ex-Scientologist, whether we've been in other cults, all of our experiences are different. We don't necessarily understand what the person next to us is going through. Now, I will tell you, Mark Fisher here probably be able to understand better than I what Amy went through. They may not have, been always, working next to each other, but they probably have a better experience. But at the same time, Mark's experience and Amy's experience and even Matt's experience are completely different. And for a never-in, we need to understand that pain that these ex-Scientologists are facing. We need to understand when we talk here, whether we make a comment in chat, whether we're on the camera, whatever, that we're talking to somebody and we're trying to communicate to under the radars or not under the radar Scientologists, but we're trying to communicate to people who we might not know what they're experiencing, what they have experienced. That's why you run into some Mark, I'm sorry, I forgot his last name. Robin, the guy who stole the stuff. The guy who went to Copenhagen and stole OT3. But his experience is completely different, right? He still firmly believes in Scientology. He just doesn't believe. Robin Scott, thank you, Mark. He just does not believe in David Miscavige. And other components as well. I'm not simplifying it that, but he is a strong believer in the tech, in what Scientology is, at least to a certain point. And that video of his was enlightening as well. And it also, it kind of helped me craft some of these thoughts. He's an independent Scientologist. He believes in A, B, and C, but maybe just doesn't believe in D through Z. And I appreciate that, but as much as I've heard of independent Scientologists, as much as I've seen videos of, Marty and others doing their thing at certain times, it wasn't until somebody who talked about it, somebody who was that talked about it, that it made some sense to me. That it really made me realize that, every single person, regardless of their label, first gen, born in, third gen, never in. I think Mitch has something that's like watcher or lurker or something at the bottom, which I guess I lump in as never in. If you've never been in, you've never been in, whether you talk about it or not. But I appreciate what Mitch is doing there. But we all have different experiences. We all try to sympathize. I can't empathize because I've never been in that situation, but I can certainly sympathize. But that doesn't mean that I know exactly what they feel and what they're experiencing. And to you that are under the radar, or somebody that doesn't consider themselves under the radar, but you're watching for, because it's on YouTube and you clicked on it and there it was. And here I am. Hi, I'm Steve. Nice to meet you. We don't completely know what you're feeling. We don't know what you're going through. But we absolutely want to be there for you. And we're sure going to try. We're sure going to try. And we're going to benefit from the others who have been in. As I've said before, the ex-Scientologists are the voice. Liz Gale is a voice. Liz Ferris is a damn loud voice. They're all voices. The ex-Scientologists are the voices. As the Never Ends, we're here to be the megaphones. We're here to get that message out. We're here to help get that message out. And forgive me for maybe a little tangent here. But if you're a Never End and you're not acting as a megaphone, I love you all when I say this. Get off your ass. We need every one of us to stop these abuses. And that doesn't mean you have to have a YouTube channel. That doesn't mean you have to go do a podcast. That doesn't mean any of that. Hey, if you're in a position that you can do that, great. But if you're not, don't go create something out of nothing. You don't have to. That's all I'm saying. But be that voice. Sign those petitions. Stand in those protests. Get the message out in any way that you can to let people know what's going on behind that razor wire gate down in Gilman Hot Springs. What's going on underneath the Big Blue building in the tunnels. What's going on at Flag. Just get that message out there. But also spend your time here, and I don't mean on my channel. I mean, listen to Nora, listen to Aaron, listen to Claire and Mark, listen to Mike, listen to Leah, listen to what they're all saying. And spend your time here understanding, doing your best to understand what they're going through. Because if we're just here watching and going, hey, happy, yay, we can love bomb chat till the cows come home, and that's great. But that doesn't get beyond here. That doesn't get beyond the four virtual walls of SPTV. You've got to take the message louder. You've got to take the message beyond these walls. And most importantly, you have to understand that you don't understand what the ex-Scientologists have gone through. There's one more message that I get from the Coldplay song. And it goes back to the first line. I used to rule the world. The first two lines. I used to rule the world. Seas would part when I gave the word. I'm going to get a little more personal here, guys. And this is something that this is another thing that I've wanted to do. It's still kind of part of the same theme. But this is another piece of it that I've wanted to do for a while. And I have kind of, again, chickened out in the past. When I was growing up, I was fucking invincible. You know? I had a mom, an amazing mom, single mom, never knew my dad. She worked one, sometimes two jobs to make sure that, we had a place to live. A lot of times that meant, and by a lot of times, I mean 2 or 3 times a week, maybe more. That meant going down the hill to the McDonald's, about 400 feet away. I fell in love with the quarter pounder with cheese. The Royale with cheese. And a large fry and a large Coke. At 7. That was my diet. A yogurt and a granola bar for breakfast before hopping on the school bus. Whatever lunch served for lunch. Shit was never all that good. That pizza was so full of, whatever. Those hot dogs wrapped in a overcooked piece of bread. Yeah, never good. School lunches were never good for you. At least not in the 80s. I don't know if they've gotten better. They were crap. But yeah, the only healthy food I ever ate was on weekends when Friday night I got dropped off at my grandparents'. I spent the weekend there. Had dinner on Friday, had whatever meals Saturday, and had breakfast and lunch on Sunday. And then went home. Except for when my grandpa would walk down. Oddly, everybody lived right up the hill from a McDonald's, so we would walk down and we'd get a nice soft serve twist cone. It was great, but you know how kids were back then. I mean, we were riding. So I'm just thinking, we were riding our bikes. I had a whole set of friends over at my grandparents', and I would often spend the entire summer at my grandparents' house. So my mom could work because I didn't have school. And I had this whole set of friends there. I had five friends, a guy that lived up the hill, a guy that lived 3 doors down, and then the 3 brothers that lived down the next block. And we would get on our bikes and we would ride. We were riding miles, right? I mean, I could have been, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 10 miles away from home at any given time. We weren't worried about any of the bad stuff that parents are worried about these days. we'd do whatever. I mean, and then our oldest friend, when we got older, his parents were like, yeah, as long as you stay on our property, you guys can drink. So we rocked the wine coolers. And then when they fell asleep, we'd get on our bikes and ride around the neighborhood drunk. That was smart. That was smart when you're 12, let me tell you. But I was invincible. I ruled the damn world. High school came along. And, we did the shit kids did in high school. Was very active, did a lot of extracurriculars. Was also a Boy Scout, working on my Eagle Scout back then. So had all of that as well. When I was 15, I went up to summer camp with my scout troop. And we were there for the first week. And 2 days in, there was a staff lunch. There were a couple of guys down there from the commissary that were eating lunch with us. And the assistant director said, you know what, we've got openings here. And I said, what? I never went home that summer. And we were doing everything. Diving into God knows how deep lake water with no life preservers, surfing on motorboats. That was good. That was a good time. Bear hug climbing up trees. I did that a few times, and then like on the 4th time, my arms gave way, and I fell about 15 feet down, landed on my back. I could have broken my spine, but I was invincible. And then I got older. I was interviewing for a job. Actually, the first time I think that I realized I was not invincible was when my vice president decided to shuffle some things up, and I was the odd man out. So I lost my job. Not the only one, but I lost my job. I don't know this feeling. I don't know this feeling of failure, uninvincibleness. I don't know what the right term is. Non-vincibility, non-invincible, vincibility. I don't know. Whatever it is. That was a weird feeling. Then I started interviewing for a job. I met with the director of the position, the director who was hiring, thanks to some great references. I met with the vice president, who was the director's boss. And that was on a Friday. I drove home Friday and I had this nasty indigestion. Just couldn't shake it. Took the Prilosec, 8 Tums, couldn't get it gone. I had one more interview. On the Monday, on the coming Monday. I went to the emergency room. Couldn't shake this. This was a feeling I've never felt. Very nice nurse, talking me through things. Oh yeah, things just don't look right. Let me get a doctor in here. Most arrogant motherfucker you have ever met, right? These surgeons, these heart surgeons. Oof. Comes in. Yeah, you're having a cardiac event. What you say? We're going to need to check you in. No. I've got an interview on Monday. You're not going to check me in. Absolutely not. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Well, I can't guarantee that you're going to live. Oh. Doc, you've just fucking challenged me. Give me the against medical advice papers, because I'm signing them and I'm going home. I'm doing my interview. I'll come back after. But that's the best you get. Went and had that third interview. It happened to be the reason for the third interview is this is the person that I was going to be working the closest with. They were the operations. I was the sales. And I just happened to have known this person for, I don't know, the last decade. So we just had the greatest conversation. Took an hour. Soon as we were done, I put on my pants and I went to a completely different hospital because I wasn't going to let that piece of shit cut into me or do whatever they needed to do to me. I get to the hospital. Apparently, when you say that your chest hurts, they rush you right in. That's a pro tip if you ever go to the ER. Tell them your chest hurts. Get right into the room. And then when the doctor comes in, oh, no, it wasn't my chest. No, they must have misunderstood me. In this case, it was my chest. Short story long, I got 5 stents. These are those little metal mesh things that hold your arteries open. Got 5 of them put in. they do some weird thing where they go through your groin area. So I never felt that part, never hurt. Next morning, I wake up in the hospital. They're looking at me. They're going, yeah, your heart looks fine. But about this diabetes. What? Can you add more to the goddamn list? Well, I'll tell you that diabetes is not diagnosed because this is the first I've ever heard of it. So, for anybody who knows how that goes, how type 2 diabetes goes. Type 2 diabetes that, what's the word? That shows as type 1, which means I have to poke myself with insulin and all these weird drugs and take pills and all this stuff. So, yeah, they really stopped talking about my heart very fast. And I will tell you this, that second cardiologist, still my cardiologist to this day, and he's fantastic. He's a little bit younger than I. His name is Ben. Love Ben. Yeah, he's friggin' awesome. And we joke. He wanted to, when I was in there, when they were about to do their procedure, he found this blockage. There was another blockage that whatever is under the heart between the two chambers, there's severe blockage there. There is to this day. So he wanted to go in and do a bypass. And I'm laying there. I don't remember this because I was pretty looped up. But I'm laying there and I go, no, Ben. No doctor. I won't give his last name. I said, no, doc. Actually, I probably just said no, doc. That's probably true. I said, I've got an interview. Or I've got I just had an interview. I put, you give me a bypass, I'm going to be down for the count. I need to be ready if I get a call saying I'm hired. He actually caved and gave me the stents instead of the bypass. So to this day, there's a clog in there. But when you run those EK, EC, all those G things on me, can't tell that I ever had a heart attack. So, again, I am invincible. That's how I read it, right? Fast forward a year. I have this job now. I'm traveling. I'm probably traveling 40% of my time. So, just under 2 weeks out of the year, or out of the month. I'm sorry. I start noticing, and I've always had some pain, a little bit of pain, nothing. But I start noticing that what I'm doing is when I get to the airport, I get to the terminal, figure out, am I going left or am I going right? Where's my gate? And then the next thing that I do is I go, okay, where's the nearest trash can? And I would walk a short distance to the trash can. And then I would lean on the trash can. It's the ones with the lids on them. So, there's a slot, but I wouldn't lean. I obviously wouldn't cover the slot, but I'd lean against the trash can, pull out my phone, and just look like I was doing something. And meanwhile, what I was doing was, one, determining where's my gate. If my gate's far enough down, where's the next nearest trash can? Or where's the next place that I can lean? Or if you've ever been to Denver International Airport, oh, look, I get to ride the walkway, the moving walkway. So I'll just get over there and stand on there, and that's going to take me, a good 400 feet. Ride that. As I'm standing there, surveying my phone, I'm going, okay, my gate's still a ways up, but there's a trash can. And I would literally zigzag through an airport, through trash cans or other leaning surfaces to get to my gate. I went to an event in Vegas. Yeah, you're not walking in Vegas, are you? Unless you're sitting at the slots. But so I would do the same thing. Trash can to trash can to trash can. Oh, if we had a team gathering in a certain spot, I'm going to leave 10 minutes early so I can get there by the time they're there, or, get there in front of them so they don't see how much pain I'm in. While I'm in Vegas, one of my sales partners goes, "Oh, is that a herniated disc?" I said, "I don't know. I think so. I've been going to a chiropractor. He's been working. He's not sure. Gotten some injections in there by now. Not sure." He's like, here's the name of my spine doctor. I had my herniated disc taken care of from him. Okay. Gave the guy a call. He looked at me and said, yeah, your L4, L5 need to be fused. Apparently, probably one of those times when I was climbing the tree and fell off and landed on my back, something broke, but it didn't wiggle out until 25 years later. And that's exactly what he said to me. He's like, this thing could have broken when you were a teenager. And I went, I remember. It's me climbing that damn tree. I don't know if it was. Probably could have been one of those times falling off a bike. I was invincible. I would stand on the back spokes of my friend's BMX bike and we'd go flying down the hill. Half the time we'd make it. Half the time we'd both end up grass stained and knees torn up from the sidewalk and the curb in the whatever the median, whatever the grass thing is called. Yeah. So got my L4 and L5 fused. Got to be stoned for a week as I kind of learned how to walk again. Had a walker for a couple days. Had a cane. Good times when you're young. But I made it through that because I'm invincible. Fuck used to ruling the world. I rule the goddamn world right now. And then we get to the end of 2020, this November, December. All of a sudden, I'm having problems standing, walking. My legs feel heavy. They look a little puffy. On my left leg, I've got this weird wound thing, right? It's weird. I don't know. It looks like a rash or who the hell knows. So I call up my doc, my primary care. He gives me a number to a wound guy. He says, "You're diabetic. You got to look at your feet. You should have a wound guy anyway." I went, okay, well, whatever. I go in. Dude looks at it. He goes, put some antibiotic on it, wraps it up. See you in a week. Okay. Came back in a week. Nothing different. Oh, and don't get it wet. Get one of those plastic boots that you have to slide on your leg. You slide up your leg so it stays dry when you shower. I'm like, okay. Not a fan of a dirty leg, but all right, fine. It only went to the knee. It was only that part. Came back a week later, nothing. He wrapped it with this thing they call a tubey grip. It's a tight sock thing, but it's like this mesh woven thing, and your toes are sticking out the hole on the bottom because it's just like a sleeve. He's like, "You got to wear this." It's like, "This is going to be compression." Okay. So we get to beginning of January 2021. It was January 11th because it was a Monday. Look it up. I had just had a really rough weekend, and I would stand up and immediately have to sit back down. It was just, and that thing on my leg was weeping, yeah, gross. Anyway, so first thing in the morning, I call the wound clinic, and they're like, yeah, we can get you in. We can get you in right at this time. I was right before their launch. I went, sweet, thank you. Go in. He looks at it and he goes, "Steve, I don't know. We've tried everything. And we had X-rays to look at bone. We had done different antibiotics, both topical and otherwise. Pills. He's like, there's nothing else I know that I can do. He's like, here's what I want to do. I want to call the emergency room. I want to call the emergency room. I want, obviously he wanted me to show up there. I'm like, okay, fine. And they can give you you can get a stronger antibiotic. So he was going to call them, prep them, let them know. He asked me what emergency room I wanted to go to because he was a bit of ways away, and I did not want to go to the hospital that his clinic was associated to. So I'm like, no, call this one. This one's like less than a mile from my house. I get there. Hi, I'm Steve. Dr. So-and-so called you about me. Oh, yeah, here. Put me in the wheelchair. Wheeled me back to the room. And the next thing I remember was 6 days later. I lost 6 days worth of time. Now, I had to have been up. I had to have been conscious. They tell me that I was. I ate food. I ate food, I guess. Apparently I spoke to the doctor and the nurse. Don't remember much of that conversation. Don't remember any of that conversation, to be honest with you. But I completely lost 6 days worth of time. I don't remember a moment of it. And yeah, I woke up. And the reason that I know that it was 6 days later is because I went in on a Monday and I woke up late in the afternoon on Sunday because there was a damn football game on. Somebody had left the TV on for me, and thanks for leaving it on Fox so I can watch the Kansas City Chiefs. Whatever. That's what I think that's what I woke up to. I could be wrong. And my legs burned. Both of my entire lower extremities were just itchy. And so I was scratching them. I wasn't getting down to the wound thing, but I was like scratching like the thighs. Yeah. Scratching my thighs because the whole thing itched. And then so they get their infectious disease doctor in. She looks, she goes, well, you shouldn't be scratching. And I said, I can't stop. So she immediately says, take him off of the antibiotics. And within a minute, my legs stopped itching. I still have a wound on my leg. I still have the red patch on my leg. It's thin skin, but it doesn't weep anymore. They always look at it. It seems fine. I lotion it. I do whatever I can to it, but here's what it is. So I made it through that because I'm invincible. But wait, there's more. It's not quite over yet. Bear with me a second here. I just have to. I noticed something when I woke up. Besides those crazy itchy legs, I just want to get my bearings here. Right above my left breastises, there was something sticking out of my chest, or I guess not the chest, the upper boob, whatever that is. So right above that, and these two plastic tubes sticking out of my chest. One had a red cap on it, and one had a blue cap on it. And I go, what's this? This is to the nurse, right? Let me get the doc. Oh, shit, that doesn't sound good. Okay. I'm waiting an hour. I don't know how long it was. It seemed like forever. Hey, doc. And this is the I don't know, the attending, I think it's the attending on duty there. Tell me about this. Well, when you came in, we gave you the antibiotics, and you kind of crashed. And we did labs or something, and we found that your kidney function was inadequate. What's inadequate? Come on! I mean, I piss all the damn time. Protein levels were up, and blah blah blah. I barely listened to it. So those ports are for dialysis. But doc, I'm invincible, is what I thought in my head. Apparently, and they think part of it was a large part of it. Don't let me underspeak it. Was related to the diabetes. Okay. Well, one of the drugs that I was taking was one of those drugs that they say don't take if you're, if you have kidney problems or on dialysis. Well, I hadn't been diagnosed with kidney problems. I had been diagnosed with slightly elevated protein levels. I'm sorry, doc, slightly elevated protein levels. That doesn't sound horrible. So, doc, if shit needs to be horrible, or if shit's horrible, you need to tell me it's horrible. And the doctors before you needed to tell me this was horrible. It sure as hell didn't sound horrible. It sounded like, okay. Just gotta, watch the diet. Do this, don't do that. Apparently not. Apparently slightly elevated means it's really bad. Took a biopsy that next morning. I think it was the next day that I got the results back. My kidney function is like at, I don't know, 25% or something. Apparently that's not good. I still pee like a goddamn racehorse. In fact, I have to go right now. So that was Tuesday. That was Monday when they took the biopsy. I believe that was Tuesday when I got the results back. It was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday when I sat in my bed, anxious to leave all day, and ultimately watching the Biden inauguration. It was that day. Thursday, I got to leave. And Friday, I was sitting in a dialysis clinic for my welcome tour and to sign all of the paperwork and all of that shit. And so since January of 2021, 2.5 years, 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, I am sitting in the most uncomfortable leather chair. They took the port out. The port is a temporary thing. That's a catheter. And when they told me it was a catheter, I said, no, that thing you got stuck to my dick right now, that's a catheter. And that was not pleasant when that came out. But anyway, this one was fine when it came out. Took it out. Got this thing they put in your arm. It's I don't know if I'll be diagramming this right. You can see I was there today. I've got the wrap. But it's this thing. It's this thing called a fistula. And what they do is they go in and somehow splice together a vein and an artery in there, and so then they can poke 2 needles in. One needle pulls the blood out, sends it to the dialyzer, the dialysis machine, and then the other tube puts it back in. So 12 hours a week, 5 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I have to take these weird phosphate binders because apparently, every food has phosphorus in it, and phosphorus isn't good for you. So I've got to take these binders. And I've got to take what do they call it? A diuretic? Lasix? Maybe that's wrong. It's the drug that you take that helps you pee. And I'm like, I don't need help peeing, but I take it because it helps get more of the fluid out, more of the water out between dialysis sessions. And they not only clean your blood and clean all the toxins out, but they also pull extra fluid out during that. And they keep telling me I'm young, which I appreciate because, I'm halfway through. I'd like to think I'm no more than halfway through this thing called life. If Scientology is right, I'll be back here, within 21 years. But they keep telling me I'm young, and I've met with the transplant team, one of the local transplant teams. Actually, I've met with both of them now. They've essentially given me a list of things to do before I can even be on the list. One, they're worried about my heart. I'm like, come on, just talk to my cardiologist. He'll tell you my heart's fine. They want me to do a cardiac stress test, and they want to do a bunch of other crap to me. And I'm like, fine, but I don't have the endurance. I mean, running on a treadmill is a high impact thing. Put me on where is it? It's over here. Put me on the bike that I bought. The bike that I intentionally bought so I could lose weight and so I could gain endurance. Put me on that bike. I'll show you. I'll ride 20 miles through the Swiss Alps if you want. They want me to lose what translates into about 25 more pounds from where I'm at before, and do all that other stuff. The cardiac stress test, meeting with the transplant cardiologist. Oh yeah, they've got them. All of this before they'll even put me on the list. And then when I'm on the list, they want me to drop another 50 pounds because they don't want to give kidneys to fat people. It's the impression I get, right? If you're fat, you're just going to sit around. You're going to waste these kidneys anyway. I don't know if that's true. It's definitely an attitude, but I'm going to play the game. And I sure as hell hope that I can, because I'll tell you, sitting on a machine 4 hours a day, every other day is no way to live. So the funny thing is, if you're sitting on a machine 4 hours a day, 3 days a week, your life expectancy happens to go down anyway. So, but I'm not invincible. I'll tell you that. I used to rule the world. I don't anymore. I'm definitely sweeping the streets that I used to own. So anyway, that's my story. Just something I've never shared with this group. Very few people know this. Now I've recorded it on YouTube, so it's going to be there. Maybe I'll chicken out and delete it after a couple weeks, but probably not. Probably not. Yeah. So I may have lost the point somewhere in there. I think I'm just maybe my point is just that Coldplay is a good band and Viva La Vida is a good song, but but there's a lot there. There's a lot there that I hadn't really unpacked publicly. And that was what brought me to the part where I really started thinking. I was thinking about myself, and I was probably being pretty selfish about it, thinking about it. But then I started thinking about these current Scientologists and that fear that they face, and why is it so hard for somebody to leave? And the fact that as many answers as I could pull up. Well, they don't want to disconnect from their family, and well, they don't want to do this. The truth is, I don't know. The truth is, I don't know what Mark Fisher is experiencing, what Janice is going through, what the Headleys went through. I know their stories, or at least the parts that they've shared. I know that, Mitch will tell a tale and they'll laugh about it. But that laughter hides a pain that a never-in will never understand. Or at least a never-in that's never been in any cult will never understand. And even a never-in that's been in another cult won't exactly understand it. They can get close. And it's kind of all about this fleeting feeling of invincibility. You feel like you are on the top of the world. And when you are a Scientologist, every Scientologist starts off feeling like they are on top of the world, right? They are love bombed, they are embraced, they are everything. And then things start to change. Or let me say it differently. No, things start to change. And some buy into it, and some don't. And those who don't buy into it are the ones that are out here now, the ex-Scientologists. Or they're the ones that are under the radar, but they're still in because they let it go too long, and now they're afraid to give it up. But they've had this feeling like nothing can stop them. And now they're scared. That part I get. I may not understand all of the pain that you're going through, but I understand the scared. Because you know what? It may be for a different thing, but I am too. I am too. I know Marilyn has starred some comments and some questions, and I don't know how let's give it a try. Yeah. Thank you guys for letting me decompress. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Let me find my love you, Marilyn. We'll give it a run through. Let's see. 28 people have questions here. Oh, and I have a mouse that doesn't want to play with me today. I was going to change this back. Joel, I'm going to put this up, but I'm not going to read it today, if you understand. But I'll let everybody else get a taste here. Yeah, is this going to work better? Is my trackpad gonna? Yeah, maybe. There we go. Joel's intros always make me smile, so at least we can read it together. Who knows what might happen indeed. I didn't know how far I was going to go with that. I took you guys on the full ride. And you will never see me be emotional again. No, I don't know about that. Yeah, to all those in Scientology, get out while you still can. This is a great idea. Make a deal with the FBI. Get immunity before it all comes crashing down. You know, we say it's coming, it's crashing, it's about to crash down. Look at all the signs, but I understand when you're in it, for whatever reason, you don't see the signs. They're either hidden from you or I mean, we've all seen John Travolta say, "Nah, I'm not interested in that stuff," being the anti-Scientology stuff. So you don't always see it. And yeah. But folks, please take the time. Look at what's out there in the media. We're really not making this up. We're really not trying to torture you, to just put you in more pain. We're here to help. But the sooner the better. The sooner the better. So, thanks, Steve. Here we go. Destiny says, I loved Reese's interview with Andrew Gold today. It was a good. Her hair's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, she was on her best behavior, not talking about cooters. That's for sure. But yeah, it was a very good interview. Very good. So one of these days I'll figure out how to work computer. I am located right here in Denver Steveo Studios, southwestern North Mountain View High Hill, Colorado. If you can find that on a map, you've found me. Cat, hi to everyone in here. Yeah, so great to. Hi to everyone here, and thanks for having this never in who cares so much about this so much. If that's me, thank you, and if that's you, you're always welcome here. This is a group for Xenu Nation is for everyone, and we pride ourselves on never ends who care about this so much. So, Kat, great to have you here. Thank you. Laura Estrada, hi. Goldie sent me over here from Blown for Good. Good evening, fine folks. Well, Laura, thank you. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe and like. I feel cheesy even asking that. But glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. We're usually on a bit of a higher note than today. Amy asks, how can we get those in the information? How can we get those the information that there's help out here? Those with or without loved ones. I cannot stop talking about dropping flyers via drone. Yeah. I mean, there's a few different ways. There's one of the ways that I've I always thought Claire was very clever about is if you get Scientology mail, put it back in the return envelope and get some Aftermath Foundation cards. Now you can get those cards at the Aftermath Foundation site. That's theaftermathfoundation.org. You can actually get them in a printable template and just cut them out, throw a few in the envelope and send it back. And then somebody will find it and it may or may not work. You can also get pre-printed cards just by reaching out to the Aftermath Foundation and they'll mail them to you. It's difficult otherwise. I mean, drones are an option, but we know that at Big Blue, at AOLA, there's those tunnels that run between the buildings. You don't see Scientologists outside. So if a bunch of flyers get dropped, most people aren't going to see them. Probably just the guy with the broom who has to come sweep them all up. So, as far as the international base is it from everything that we're hearing, from everything I understand, there are a lot less people than there used to be because people have moved to the Scientology media productions in Los Angeles. So there's a lot less of an impact there by doing that. This is a challenge. These are the things we really want to find the ways that we can communicate with them. I don't know, that we want them to be able to see us and hear us and get those messages. But so I don't know. I don't know that a drone will work. I'm not going to say that it won't. But this may be something that we need to brainstorm more as a group. There's the protests happening tomorrow that hopefully some people will hear, but protests. How do people read? How would somebody read a bunch of people with signs? Are they trying to communicate to me and appeal to my better nature, or are they attacking me with large signs? So this is a challenging question. This is a challenging question, Amy, and something I think we definitely need to keep looking at, because if drones and flyers will work, great, but I think we have to find the right places for those. We could do what was his name? Noriega, the old leader of Panama. We could just throw these large speakers up in front of all of their buildings and just blast, but that probably comes off a bit negative too. So to be continued, Amy, to be continued, for sure. Kat asks the question to anyone who can and will answer. I have a friend from high school who I lost touch with in 2016. Found an article in the Scientology newsletter about her. Is it safe to subscribe in order to read? It is dangerous to subscribe to anything Scientology related, because Scientology will then have your information and will continue to bombard you. It's not negative. It's not unsafe in a we're going to hunt you down sort of way. But it's from everything that I understand about the marketing teams, the folks that the mailer people, is they will find you no matter where you are, no matter how old you get, no matter if you change your name because you get married or divorced. They will track you, and they will continue to bombard you with mail, even if you say please stop. They will never stop. So that's the way that I would say it's unsafe. Otherwise, if you want to read it, can you subscribe with a fake name and, make a dumb Gmail account that only, that you only use for it? I don't know. Maybe try that. That might be the safest thing. And then you'll have your Scientology mailbox that just gets bombarded So. Destiny says the evidence is stacking up against Scientology. Even if the government won't do anything, we the people know and will witness. Yes, we do, and yes, we will. Abso-fucking-lutely. Davy boy, we're coming for you. Can't be. It can be so hard hearing these stories. Even though it would have been so much harder to live through, I'm glad we finally get to make them feel like they aren't alone. And that people care. Yeah, I do. That's all I want, is these folks to know that there are people out here that absolutely do care. And, if they come out, we're not going to abandon them, right? I'm sure a lot of people feel guilt. Speaking out takes the power away from your abusers. It really does help. It does help. It does help. I know. But that pain and that guilt is there. I know. Yes. If you didn't see this link, see this link. Marilyn says tax dollars are subsidizing Scientology's abuses and illegal practices. Take a minute to read and sign this petition. It will be sent to the chair of the Committee of Ways and Means. And there's the link. So check it out. It's it's one of those, online petitions. So petition, put your name on it. Say, we will not stand for this. Mark Fisher says we are going to question him. That's Robin Scott. We're going to question Robin on Friday. I don't agree with everything that he says, but he has the right to say it. Absolutely. And we're going to question him on it. No, I will be there when you go live, and I've got questions too. I watched all the way through. When I say it's eye-opening, it's just eye-opening to see a different point of view, and then to understand, to try to understand that, that he's coming from a different angle, and somebody else will come from a completely different angle again. There's so many permutations of possibilities. There may be somebody out there that only believes in OT3, right? Maybe. But I'm looking forward to the Q&A with him. Without a doubt. And folks, if you haven't, go to our Scientology stories, Peeling the Onion. That's Mark and Janice's channel, and watch the video. It's kind of a documentary style that Robin Scott actually put together his own documentary and his own story. It's not really, it's him narrating what he went through, and give that a watch through. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And again, Robin Scott was one of the folks, one of the team who went to the Copenhagen org, pretended to be active Sea Org members, and walked out with the confidential materials. So, yeah, definitely. And then it's the kind of the aftermath to that as well. So definitely check it out. Please do. My uncle believed in the tech for a while after he left. Ultimately, it breaks down when you look at it rationally. Yeah. I don't think the tech works. The tech doesn't work in this world. I can't even say the tech works in a bubble, right? In the bubble. But when you don't have the right ration and outside influences, rationale and outside influences, it's easier to accept it and to believe it. But yeah, that seems to be the story. Is most people, once they leave, it's gone. It just doesn't hold up. Way to go, Mark Fisher. Everyone deserves a voice and their own ability to deconstruct in their own way. Freedom of thought is important when you're leaving. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Oh, come on. There we go. Matt's caustic comments. I first got into checking out Scientology videos to ridicule and poke at dupes for being in the cult. Finding most are second gen, and they all have suffered. I have another more sympathetic perspective. Yeah. Just right. These second gens, these born-ins, right? And Liz Gale, third gen. Wow. Yeah. I mean, they suffer as children. They suffer at the ranch. They suffer, beyond that. I mean, they're suffering from birth, these second gens. So, yeah, understood, Matt. Marla Dillard, I think Miss Hannah said it best. Oh, when you start a sentence that way, I'm probably with you here. Meet people where they are as they are in the same time of transition. Paraphrasing from her interview with Leah and Mike. Yeah, no, I recall the. Sounds pretty close, but yeah, when you meet people where they are, I just have to talk it through slowly. Where they are, as they are in this time of transition. Meet people where they are. Yeah. So yeah, that can be hard, right? I mean, that can be. You have to be sympathetic at that point, especially if you haven't come from the same scenario. You have to. So in sympathy, as opposed to empathy being, oh yeah, I went through the same thing as you. I completely understand, or for the most part understand. Sympathy requires a bit of imagination, right? You have to imagine where somebody is. You have to go, well, I lived here, and if I extrapolate on that, I can kind of see myself getting to here. Now, you were here, your experience is this, so I can kind of imagine, but I can't exactly feel. But yeah, that's always the goal, is to, understand, to meet them where they are, to understand, where they are in transition. Now I'm just repeating words. Why was I hesitant to say this? I'm 100% accurate. I'm not sure, Renee. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was just one. Introspection and reminding others that reminding others that they don't know what they think they know, that's not always an easy thing. And I don't know. Maybe I was just being foolish. It was just one of those things that was kind of there, and I don't know. Maybe I was just a chicken shit. I'm not sure. Damn you and that good question, Renee. Lady BB says the last few days have been so hard to watch, all these stories and how dark they are. This has been a dark week. I tell everyone I can about what is going on and about all the books out there. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. If we can't, I don't want to say can't, that's a negative thing. While we are trying to show existing Scientologists to come out of the bubble, it's always a great use of our time to show other never-ends what's going on. Because again, if we can add more megaphones to the sound, we're just going to be louder and louder. And that's what we need to do. So, thanks, BB. Cat B, I love that YouTube has made it possible for us never-ends to connect with these people and their stories and help in any way we can. I know. How many years ago, watch Leah's show? The show was over. Sitting in the head going, God, that sucks. That's stupid. That's, that shit's bad. And it was kind of gone. I mean, wasn't really. There was the podcast, and Aaron was in the background doing, YouTube with a much smaller audience. But yeah, it's and it's built to this crescendo, this fever pitch. We're there, right? This is yeah, this is an amazing time, and to be able to connect like this, to get to know these people, it's just been a blessing. Kat says some of us never-ends have been in other cults. Right. No, I know. Some have been in narcissist abuse. Yes. COS is both. Absolutely. That's why it captivates. Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely. I don't disagree with that. Yeah. And I feel for everybody that's been in one of those scenarios. We fight this battle, then we fight the next, and by the time our time is done, hopefully our children and others are fighting against the next cult and the next narcissistic scenario, and we just make it better one step at a time. The Robin Scott video was fascinating. Absolutely, Bill. Absolutely, it was. It was. Yeah, I kind of want to watch it. I probably will watch it at least one more time before Friday. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. There we go. Denver Steveo. Poe. Thank you, Poe. It is the hard times that make us stronger, bud. My back looks like a checkerboard. Yeah, from the scars my father. Sorry, Poe. My children will never know that. I get that, Poe. Completely understand. I'm sorry you went through that. And nothing but respect. So. Purple Groovy. We the Never-Ends can't take away the pain that they've gone through, but we will most definitely wear it with them. Oh, God bless you. Oh, Xenu, bless you. Xenu, bless you, Purple Groovy. I love that. We most definitely will. And you know what? And it's gonna every day. I'm working to help convince that group that no, we're legit. You know, we're here. We're gonna fight this fight with you. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Purple Groovy. Got the Fisherman. Just was on the phone with Janice, and for those of you that watch the Robin Scott video, we are going to have a live Q&A on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Okay. I can take some. I can play hooky at my desk from work, and I will. Not like I haven't done that before, right, Fisher? There have been a lot of likes and dislikes in our chat on this video. We're going to ask him questions about his story and his beliefs. Normally, I would tell you that those dislikes are, the trolls, the troons, the people who look like this. But I bet that there were people who were just questioned. I mean, just didn't. His story did not go in the direction that I thought it would. So, and there was a lot to it. So, but I was fascinated. I'm one of the likes. I'll just say it. The likes, not the dislikes. Yeah, definitely not. Hey, here's the story. Oh, it went that way. Didn't see that. So, Mark, thanks again for sharing that, and we will most definitely be there on Friday. Trying to imagine how to finagle some text alert or some way to draw a rapid response if someone is being fair gamed. If you figure that out, if we can do some sort of, I don't know, 119, right, instead of 911, I don't know, some sort of fair game text. Fair game, yeah. Jen, if you get that, let us all know, because I will sign up. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. I hope you're right. Thank you, Lumi. Angela again. Where'd it go? I did not click that. Somebody double tapped me. Sending you love and all the hugs, Steveo. I'm not into toxic positivity. Life sucks sometimes. Yes, it does. Just know you're a strong dude with a whole lot of love and support always with you. Thank you, Angela. Pizza and a movie, right? Destiny says, thank you for being open, Denver. We can relate. And that helps. It does help. OTC. One tough chick. We aren't invincible. We are legendary. Oh, I like that. I'll take that one. Yeah. Legendary, damn it. You're on the transplant list. Not yet. We can all be tested to see if we're mad. Oh, I'm not. I did not tell you guys to have 200,000 potential transplant donors. I no, but thank you. We can all be tested to see if we're a match kidney for our friend. No, that's sweet to say, Renee. Thank you. Marla pulling for you. Thank you, Marla. And Joni asks, Denver Steveo, how are you truly feeling today? I think I just told you. Physically, it's a dialysis day. I feel a little drained, but emotionally, probably a little bit better than I was 2 hours ago. So, gang, I think I just kicked my own ass for the last damn near 2 hours. How about that? So I'm going to go do something. I don't know what, but I'm going to go empty my brain for a bit. I want to thank everybody for all the great words, and for listening to my whatever the hell it was, rant, dissertation, party, whatever the hell it was. Do me a favor, and for the next 1 minute and 12 seconds, enjoy a dancing camping Xenu. See you guys later.